So next week, a key summit of EU nations will take place where a decision is expected to be made regarding Ukraine's attempt to enter the Union. Last night in Paris, French President Emmanuel Macron hosted Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, in a bid to bring him on board in support of Ukraine's membership. Orban has previously voiced concerns about Ukraine joining the EU. Joining us now from Kyiv is the Ukrainian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dmytro Kuleba. It is very good to have you with us this morning. I guess, first of all, what's your response to Viktor Orban having concerns about Ukraine joining the EU?
Well, Ukraine's membership in the European Union is in the best interest of Hungary, because I doubt Prime Minister Orban would like to see Russia as its or Russia-controlled country as its neighbor. Membership of Ukraine in the EU means more prosperity and more safety for entire Europe and for entire democratic community in the world, and Hungary must be interested in that.
Yeah, and that Russian neighbor, their President Putin, has just announced that he's seeking to extend his power into the next few years, extend his presidential term. He's already been in power for 2 decades. Can you talk a little bit about the situation on the battlefield, how Ukrainian troops are doing against this Russian invasion so far right now?
Well, after securing a major victory in the Black Sea, where Ukraine succeeded in pushing back Russian Black Sea fleet to the eastern coast of Russia, and that allowed us to restore our export corridors and export grain and other critical materials to the world market, all eyes are on the land front line. And the situation there is different depending on the spot that we are looking at. In some places, Ukrainian forces advance. In other places, like near the city of Avdiivka, Russia is trying to occupy this city. They're throwing thousands of people into the battle. We successfully defend the city. And we understand that Russia is trying to secure a propaganda victory for itself at any cost. They don't care about their own human lives. They care only for the success for Putin to report to the people of Russia at the cost of the lives of the people of Russia. This is more or less the situation. And of course, air raid attacks continue. Drones, Iranian drones, Russian missiles. We had we had another attack this morning, actually. But our air defense system is repelling these attacks, and I would like to thank the American people and the United States for providing us with necessary air defense systems and interceptors.
Minister Kuleba, good morning. On that very question, we just spoke, and maybe you could hear with a United States congressman who supports a continued effort and support of Ukraine from the United States side, but is worried that Republicans may be holding it up. Can you make the case to the American people who, after almost 2 years now, may be wavering a bit and saying, OK, we've spent an awful lot of our taxpayer money on Ukraine, make the case why you need America's support going forward and why the Congress needs to work this out?
Well, the best way to ensure prosperity and safety of America and American people is for America to project strength abroad and help other democracies defend themselves against authoritarian rulers. Because if Putin succeeds in Ukraine, it will be a clear message of motivation to other dictators and authoritarian rulers across the world to attack their neighbors, to push back democracies. And the price of defeating them will be much higher. The price tag will be much higher. So what is happening, what the United States are giving Ukraine today is not a charity. It's an investment in global security, in the security and prosperity of the American people. And it's the cheapest, as big as it is, it's the cheapest you can get. Because I would like to remind that Ukraine is one of the very few countries in history who has not requested American boots on the ground. We are paying the highest price with the lives and sacrifice of our people. All we ask other countries to do, and the United States are leading this coalition, is to give us what we need to fight and to defend what is in the interest of all of us.
Ukraine's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dmytro Kuleba, thank you so much for being on this morning, and we will talk to you again soon. Thank you.